Hello, welcome to A Tinge Ginge. Today I'm really excited because I'm going to finally show you the tubs that I've got behind me. I'm going to show you what I've been doing to them just to modify them just for myself, just so they do what I want to do basically. I'm a bit of a tart, I like things to be a certain way, so for me it's all about changing stuff, customising it, making it how I want it basically. So I'm going to have a quick look at the progress I've made on these tubs. You can already see now the ones that have got like the orange strip down the middle there. They're all the ones I've divided up so far. I'm thinking eventually this whole rack of two rows, they're all going to be divided for my hatchlings and things like that. The rest of them I'm going to leave for grow ones, and if I need to adapt to any of the others, I can just chuck a couple of dividers in. I can always take the dividers out as well, it's not a problem, but they're probably going to be permanently fixed in there for now. But what I'm going to show you now is the hides I've been working on. I've been working on some custom hides for the snakes, just for the ones that are a little bit of a trouble feeder, just something to put in there just to make them feel a little bit more secure, and just to get them to feed a little bit easier. I've also got the custom water bowl holders now. If you look back through my videos, you'll see I actually made some little 3D printed feet for my bowls. They work well. In the bigger tubs, for the bigger snakes, they work very well. In the smaller tubs, they're okay to a certain extent, but once a little bit of reptor chip or whatever, bark, coconut husk, whatever you're using, gets underneath, it does tend to tilt that bowl over, and then the snakes are able to push it over. So with this design that I've come up with, it literally holds that bowl in place so it can't move unless you remove the front clip. And the front clip is also doubled up as like a little name plate, so you can get like a sticky label. I'm probably going to get some magnetic tape to put on there, stick it on the back of it, and then I can actually make up little magnetic name tags with the information and stuff like on it. So yeah, really excited way it's going. This probably will be something that I can make for people in the future. It does involve drilling your tubs, which is a bit of a pain for some people, but yeah, if you are interested in this sort of thing, then let me know, hit me up on the DMs or send me a private message, and we'll see what we can get done for you. So we're going to jump straight into it so I can actually show you what I'm working with at the moment. Here's the tubs that I'm working with at the minute. They're not particularly big tubs. These I normally use for just my hatchlings and my grow-ons, and then once they do get a bit too big, then I'll move them into some other tubs. But if you have seen my YouTube channel, you would have seen me do these dividers already. I'm not going to go through them in this video just because there's no point repeating myself, but if you haven't seen that video, go back through my channel and make sure you look at that, because it's such a sleek design. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant for what I want. Works perfectly, and it doesn't mean that you're lumbered with having to sort of take an entire divider out and things like that just to get one snake out. So it's yeah, it's for me it does the job basically. But yeah, if you are interested in that, then go and check that video out and give me a message. But what I want to talk to you today is about the custom hides that I'm making, and also these little name plates and the water bowl holders. So the main video is going to be on this, so I'm going to quickly cover this now just to show you what I'm working with. So I'm 3D printing these hides. I was going to think about getting some acrylic and sticking it together, but that's just going to work out way too expensive, and by doing it this way it's cheap and effective if I need to sort of get a new one or if I break one. So this was just a rough one I've chucked together. That's going to be the design eventually. It's not going to be in white, it is going to be printed in black. So I did actually do a tester version in black acrylic just to see how it looked, and I think that looks incredible. That looks proper sexy, that does. Obviously I've not put the hole in there. The whole idea of this was just to get an idea of what it would look like, and the whole idea of this is that it is removable, so you can take this off without sort of having to pull this middle section out. So on some dividers they have like a cross divider, and if you want to get to the snake there, you have to sort of pull it all out, and it's just too much hassle. I can't be dealing with that. I want something that's going to be quick and simple. So for me, this was the best design I could come up with, and I am actually using magnets for this. So you can see in that corner there's a little magnet, and then there's another little magnet there, and it actually built into the brackets of my divider. You can see there's a little magnet just on the top there, and there's actually a magnet that I've put into the corner of this tub as well. So when you put this in, slot this in place, it snaps into place with the magnets. It's pretty stable, it's not going to move around too much. You can push it down, but the coconut husk there does hold it up, so it's just a case of keeping it in place. I don't think that's going to be moved around too much by the snake. I'm thinking of replacing this magnet in this corner with a pin instead, so the pin sticks through and it slots over the pin, magnet in that side, and then that holds in place. But That's just another thing that I want to test out, so I'll probably do it again with this tub on the other side. I'll probably put a little pin in the top of that bracket there, make it there, and then I'll test it on that side and see which one I prefer, whichever one I think works the best basically. But I really wanted to show you was this front bit. So I have teased this on my Instagram already. A few people were asking me about it, and yeah, I think this is probably the best way I can come up with of securing the water bowls in without having to use ceramic dishes and without actually having to glue this little holder to the tub, because that's not what I want. I want it to all be removable, easy to be cleaned, and yeah, this is what I've come up with. So it does all come apart. This is the nameplate. You can see it's not actually attached, it's sort of just wedged in place there by some clips. You can see at the back there, and what those clips do is if I take that off, this will just pop off nice and easy. So that's all the back is, just that, nothing too complicated. There you can see there's those two little grip feet that come through. These little sections here on the plate, they actually hook over the back of this, and they're what actually tension this strap in place. So they push these feet apart that way, and then they actually pull them forward, and that's what locks the bowl in place. Now to get the bowl out, it's really simple. You just take the small deli cup out. This is like a little 4-ounce deli cup that I use, and again, PVC pipe like I was using in my previous videos for my water bowl holders. Really cheap, really easy to get hold of. And then the main part of it is this little ring here, and it's really simple to take out. It's just a case of squeezing these together, and then it just pops out like that, and that's all it is. It's nice and simple. I've not seen anything like this around before. This is probably the first time you're ever going to see it, so if you do see this anywhere else in a couple of months time or whatever, just know that I was the first person to create this. I'm not going to chuck a patent on it, because I've been trying to get something patented for a while now, and it's just going to cost close to like $4.5 grand to get it done, and it can take up to 5 years for it to even be accepted, and you might go through all that and it doesn't even get accepted in the long run. So patenting wise, I'm not going to bother. So that product will be coming out shortly. It will be something that I am going to be selling, because I think it is going to benefit a lot of people, so make sure you stick around for that video. But yeah, this is a little idea that I've come up with, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's really simple to use, it's easy to clean. If one of these breaks, it's super cheap just to reprint a new piece for it basically. It's not going to be in red, this is actually going to be in orange, so that it matches the brackets. And I've got a whole theme of sort of black and orange going on everywhere. So yeah, that's how it all goes together. So I'll quickly put it back together so you can see. I'll try and do it one-handed if I can. It is pretty simple to put together. So the feet, they just click through there, and you can see how they're loose in that slot. They're loose. Once you put that front plate on, it tensions them, pulls it forward, and that's what locks it in place and makes it dead stable. So from there, all you've got to do, move the coconut out of the way, place your little piece of plastic tube or whatever you want to use in there. You can see it's still got a little bit of movement. I could just use that in its own, that would probably be enough to hold that bar in place, but I just want a little bit more security on it, just to ensure that the babies can't push them over. As you can see, I don't have any vent holes in these. A lot of the circulation is just through the front lip of that tub, and I don't want to be drilling too many holes in the front of this either. If I didn't have this in place, where the babies keep knocking the water bowls over, I'm getting a lot of condensation build up just from where the coconut is getting quite wet. So I'm hoping this is just going to keep the condensation to a minimum, just so that those levels aren't too high, and it's just enough for the snake. With these, it's really simple. It's just a case of putting that on the front to where it needs to go, and then that just snaps down into place just like that. You can do it one-handed, it's nice and simple. And then if you're OCD like me, it's just a case of just tidying that up so that front plate is straight like that, and there we go. That's the whole thing. And if I give this a good jiggle, you can see the clip doesn't come out even if I lift that up and down. It's quite stable, it's not going to go anywhere. That front clip just holds it in perfectly, and yeah, I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea. Now, I will be selling these if people are interested. Do bear in mind that if you do want this in your tubs, you do need to drill this hole at the front, and that's something that I wouldn't recommend if you haven't drilled plastic tubs before, because with this one, if you see, I've using this as a tester. I don't know if I'm going to be able to focus on it. Just there in that corner you can see there is a little crack going up to the left, and that's just where I got a little bit overexcited with the drill. So just because I was excited to get this installed as quickly as possible. So if this is something that you are interested in and you would like to purchase for your own tubs, let me know, send me a DM, chuck me a message on YouTube or whatever, and I'll be selling it as the whole set. So I'll be doing these little rings for you to put the deli cups in. It'll come with this, and it'll also come with the front plate. I can do different colours as well. I think the red looks pretty nice, but I think it'd also look really good if it was in black. I think the black would look really tasty. Also, I've got orange, but I can do pretty much, as long as I can get hold of the filament for it, I can pretty much print it in whatever colour you want. So yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be doing them for, to be honest. I haven't looked at the costs, but to print that and that at a high quality, it does take quite a long time to print. So if you do a large order, then it may take a while just to get it all printed. And if I do need to get the filament in of the right colour that you want as well, then that can take a while. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. If you think it's a good idea, let me know. If you think there's any changes I can make to it just to make it better, then I'd really appreciate it as well. Just because I want to try and put something out there that is going to be high quality and people are going to want to purchase, basically. So yeah, let me know what you think. And also these hides, I don't know if I'm going to be selling the hides or not, to be honest, because unless you have this style of tub with this tray, I don't think me selling the hides will be any good. I can 3D print hides, but obviously it's going to come at a high cost depending on how big the hide is. This uses quite a lot of plastic just to print that. Because it is one solid piece, it does use up quite a bit. If I was to make it hollow, it would be a little bit cheaper, but then obviously it's not going to have the same strength as a solid piece. So yeah, I can do these dividers as well. As I've said, I can sell these dividers. It's best if you get your own divider acrylic. This stuff can work out quite expensive. This is sort of, I believe this is 4mm thick acrylic that I use. It's quite expensive to buy. I think I've got 5 sheets of it, and it was sort of getting on for like sort of 45, 50 quid, maybe a little bit more after postage. But yeah, it is quite expensive. So if you're interested in these sort of bracket ideas that I've got, again, this does involve drilling 2 small holes in your tub. You can see where those little pegs come through just to hold it in place. I can make these for you, but again, color wise, how big you want them as well, I'm going to need sort of quite specific dimensions for these. So again, if it's something you're interested in, send me a message and we'll do a lot of talking over the phone just to make sure that you know what you have to do and get everything right. So yeah, this is how the tubs are looking so far. I think they look absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant for hatchlings. Let me just quickly get a hatchling out and put it in there just so you can see. So yeah, that's how the hide is going to look in place. Obviously it's going to be in black, so it matches the divider. This, I do want to do it in orange, but I am thinking maybe black now, just looking at it, because I don't want too much orange in there actually. I'm not sure, it's something I can play around with. I've got plenty of time to decide what I want. And as you can see, I've got a little hatchling in there. You see they've got plenty of room in there. Depending on how much of the substrate you put in your tubs, will depend on how much headroom they've got. But to be honest, you can see he's about, he's probably getting on for about nearly 100 grams now. Maybe just a little bit less. You can see he's got loads and loads of room in there. The whole idea of the hide is that they do curl up in a ball and feel safe, so to be honest, the tighter that space, probably the better for them. They're going to feel a lot more secure. They've got enough like sort of height there just for the heat to sort of disperse. And as you can see, he's coming out the front of the hide, having a little peek about. And the edges on this hide as well, they are chamfered, so they are rounded. There's no sharp edges on there they can hurt themselves on. And it's the same for this water bowl in here as well. All the edges on that bowl there, you can see they are slightly rounded as well. So if they are rubbing up against that to do their shedding or whatever, there's no rough burrs or anything they can catch them on. And yeah, that's the whole setup. I'm really happy with the way these turned out. I'm hoping that the majority of my tubs will be like this. I'm going to be working on some custom racks as well coming up, but they're going to be more like the sort of Freedom Breeder / ARS racks, just because I don't really feel like I need to put dividers in them. They're literally going to be 2 separate racks. that are going to be sort of for my grow-ons, another one's going to be for my adults. So I'm going to have sort of a 3-tier racking system. This can also be used for grow-ons as well. Once I take this divider out, take these 2 brackets out, take that all out, and I can just leave this in place. There will be a hole on this side, but I'm not too worried about that, but at least I will have a bowl holder there on the side. With the other tubs that aren't going to be divided, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them in the corner or place them in the middle. I'm not 100% sure yet. Ideally, I'd like most of my tubs to be like this, and then I just have one rack. I think I've got 20 trays for the new rack, and I literally want that to be a rack of 20 for my grow-ons. So hopefully once they do outgrow this, I can literally just take them out of that divider and put them into those tubs. So that'll be a video coming up very shortly. I'm just waiting for the metal and stuff like that to be in stock, and as soon as it is, I can get it ordered, and I'll show you that build. So they're my custom tubs. They're really coming along well. Once I've got the hide done and that's all in place and I've decided on how I'm going to mount that in there, that's probably going to be them completely finished. I don't think there's much else I can add to that to make it any better. I think that's as far as I can go with them. But those actual bowl holders with the little nameplates on the front, I'm going to be using them for all the tubs. So once I get to my grow-on rack and once my adult rack's done as well, I'll be printing bigger versions of those so I can actually put them in place as well, because I'm not going to be having the Freedom Breeder racks that have got the little bowl holders in the trays. I think they're, for what they are, I think they're a bit too pricey, and I don't see the point in doing that when I can make something myself that is probably going to work a little bit better for me, that I'm going to prefer. So yeah, I won't be purchasing any of them. I have seen that you can now get Freedom Breeder tubs in the UK, but I just, for the price of them, I just don't think it is worth it, to be honest. A lot of people use ceramic bowls anyway, and they do the job just as well. But I'll be doing similar thing to what I've done with my hatchling tub. I'll be doing my grow-on and my adult rack, just because the adults, again, I can put those plastic tubes in, put the little feet on. Sometimes they work, sometimes if the snake does get a little bit too excited, they can knock them bowls over, making it wet. So I will be putting them on there as well. They'll probably be exactly the same way as the small hatchling ones, just slightly bigger and a little bit beefier, just so it can withstand the bigger snakes pushing up against it and stuff. So that'll be a video coming up soon. Also, if you have got me on Instagram, you'll see that I did post some little custom rings. I've got little hooks on them. I'm currently breeding my own ASFs, and the problem I have with them is that the mesh I use for the top of them is quite small, and the reason I've gone for that is just because where I had larger mesh, I did have a couple of babies actually get through that mesh and wander about, so I went for a super small mesh. And to feed them, I had these little food hoppers I'd hang on the side, and they were just terrible. The ASFs were getting inside, fouling on the food, and they were a little bit too long, so they'd sit down into the sawdust. So what I've come up with is a little food hopper which actually clicks to the top of the mesh and hangs down, and it's just going to make it a little bit easier for when I do clean them out. I can just unhook that, take it out, it doesn't get in the sawdust, the ASFs can't get up there and pee and poop all over the food, and it's just going to be an easy way for me to monitor the food levels as well. So that's going to be a video coming up soon. If you haven't seen that already, go over to my Instagram, have a quick look. I did put a little thing out there saying, can you guess what it is? Nobody's guessed what it is as of now, but if you watch the video then you will know what it was, so you can go down and put the right comment. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all the progress I'm making. The snake room is still being worked on, so hopefully eventually I can get everything moved over to my new snake room, and then we can give you a tour of that and give you a close-up of everything else of how I do it. So thank you for supporting me. I think we're about 167 subscribers at this moment in time, well on our way to 200, which is absolutely brilliant. I can't wait. Obviously I'd like to be more, but you can't push it, can you? If people don't enjoy you, they're not going to watch. But to the people that do watch me, I really do appreciate it. I will have some merch and new stickers coming out very soon. I'm probably not going to have them up for sale. The stickers I'll do swaps anyway, but the merch is probably going to be something that I give away to people that do actually support me. So it just makes it a little bit more rewarding to that person, knowing that only they can get it, if that makes sense, rather than just everybody having it. So yeah, that's going to be coming up as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Are you coming out, or are you going to stay in there? Are you coming out? He's just having a good old sniff around. He's like, oh, this is new. What's this?